Mentors, you can help couples by asking them if an issue is a pebble or a boulder. See, there are two different perspectives, and someone may view a particular issue as something that is very important, and the other may not. So let me give you an example to explain this. Megan and Ryan are a couple that were becoming more and more distanced and detached to one another. And Megan was not a very confrontational person, and she was not very assertive, and she thought long and hard about bringing something up. And so she finally told Ryan that she would like more non-sexual touch. And Ryan got what she was saying. He understood it. And the following day, he came in and he came up and said, well, so you wanted more non-sexual touch? Here it is. And he swatted her on the butt. And she was very hurt. And she felt that he was kind of making fun of her and dismissing her. See, Megan had handed Ryan a boulder, and he treated it like a pebble, and he just didn't see the weight of it. And so he joked about it. And you can joke about a pebble, but you can't joke about a boulder. And the perspectives of the two were very, very different. And I don't think that Ryan was trying to be mean. He just didn't understand the importance and the weight that Megan was putting on it. So Megan interpreted his actions as another example of how he doesn't really care for her. So when you're working with a couple, it's important to help them to understand how important is the issue to each other. Is this a pebble or is this a boulder? Then we'll usually explore the consequences of the actions and the feelings of that particular issue. I'll give you another example. One time Michelle and I were in a fight, and she kind of shouted out, I don't respect you. And it was at a time in my life when I had a business that wasn't going very well, and I wasn't feeling very good about myself, and I was struggling, I think, with my own respect. And so the way I interpreted her comment was, I don't respect you, I don't support you, you're a loser, and I was just deeply hurt. And I didn't want to hear any more about how she didn't respect me, so I didn't say anything. And I carried that weight around with me, and it built up resentment. And a year later, she said, I really respect you. And my response is, well, when did that change? And she was surprised. She didn't know what I was talking about. You didn't remember our previous conversation, or then I told her about it, and she kind of barely remembered it. And she just kind of said, oh, I'm so sorry. I just kind of lashed out in anger. I didn't really mean that. It's like I carried this around for a whole year. If I would have just brought this up at the time, I think I would have saved myself a great deal of pain. So Michelle threw what she thought was a pebble, and I caught it as a boulder. So couples often don't have the same perspective of the issue. Is it a weighty and important issue? So here's 3 tips. Help the couples to express how much weight something has. So ask them, is it a pebble or the boulder, or how big of a problem is this? Is this a big problem or a little problem? Is it really important, or is it just kind of a little tiny irritation? But we want them to be able to explore that. And 2, clarify the intent. See, oftentimes when we misread how important it is to somebody, it can come across as very dismissive, or you just don't care. But that doesn't mean that your spouse has poor intent. So clarify what is actually your intent. And 3, explore the trigger. So oftentimes the big issues come from some of our own deeper insecurities. And when we get triggered about something, there is some type of a deep trigger inside of us. And it can help you mentors to be able to explore that with the couples. So those 3 tips again are: help the couple to explore how weighty of an issue it is, clarify the intent that the person has, and explore the trigger.